Marzipan. Maybe you love marzipan. Maybe you never really tried marzipan, and possibly you've never even heard of marzipan. But marzipan is an old popular treat to have at the Christmas season, and just like I really like to have pfeffernusse for the holiday season, another treat that I've always enjoyed is having some marzipan around. And even though it's candy and we don't eat candy, I make an exception for this because it's just something special to have at this time of the year. So if you'd like to find out more about marzipan and how to make it, stick around and we will do that right now. Let's get started. Marzipan's incredibly easy to make. You have almonds, sugar, a little bit of honey, and if you'd like, a couple drops of pure almond extract. I'm going to simply put 1 3/4 cups of just plain, unroasted, unsalted almonds in a heat-proof Pyrex glass dish, because the next step we're going to pour boiling water on those. I just got this boiling so that they're soaking good. And now we're going to leave those sit until they cool off enough that we can handle them. We'll come back and we'll get those peeled and go on to the next step of processing them. This next step is a little time consuming, but it's pretty easy to do. I drained the almonds through a colander after they cooled off enough to handle. And all I have to do now, they are softened up, the skins are softened up, just take them one by one, take that skin off, and throw the almond in a dish until I have them all processed this way. And then we will go on to the next step. The almonds have all been peeled. That didn't take me long at all. Just a couple minutes. Get through those and get a system. So I'm going to put them in the food processor. Now what I need to add is some sweetener. First off, I'm putting in a cup of sugar. I'm just using some baker's sugar. It's ultra fine. It's not super fine like powdered sugar. You don't want to use regular sugar because it's too grainy and it makes the marzipan too grainy. I'm just going to put in the dry baker's sugar. That should be fine enough. You do want some texture to the marzipan. And what I do then is add a 1/2 cup of honey. And what I did was just take some clover honey, 1/4 cup, put it in a microwave safe dish and warm it up just enough so that I could put it in here without it hanging up. It's a little cold in the house because it is winter time. And I've got just a little bit of water off to the side. We may want to add some water to this if it's a little dry, but not a lot. We're talking teaspoons at a time. And then finally, just a couple drops of pure almond extract, not imitation almond, but pure extract. And literally a couple of drops. Remember, we have almonds, we have an almond flavor, but this just seems to bring it out a little more. With that set up, started, get things settled in. And I'm going to turn it on, let it run until they have a nice paste. Now you can see that looks just a little dry, so I'm going to add just a touch of water. I'm going to take my spatula and make sure I have nothing hanging up on the sides here, and looking at this I see it's still just a bit dry, so I'm going to add a little more water to it. Starting to get a really good paste here. These almonds are dry, so I need just a little bit more water in there. We don't want to get it soupy. We want a nice consistency, but this is just a little bit dry. Check it here. And we have marzipan. So the next question is, how do you use marzipan? What can you put it in? How do you eat it? What's it used for? I'm going to show you right now one of the things I do. I spread some of this out on some plastic wrap. Makes it easier to work with, and I'm going to simply roll that into a log here, get it smoothed out. Putting it in the plastic wrap just makes it a lot easier to work with. You can spread it out, get it into a nice shape. And I will close the ends up and lay that in the refrigerator. Marzipan's been sitting in the refrigerator. It's nice and chilled, so it's a little firmer to work with. The simplest thing to do, and I've done this different years, is I try to make sure it's rounded up a little bit so it's not too flat. Cut that little stub end off, and then I just cut some small pieces of marzipan, bite-sized pieces, and you can just set those out on a plate along with cookies and other things you do for the holidays, and people can just grab one and have a bite of that. Or you can take a chunk, roll it into a ball, and then just roll it around in some cocoa powder, shake off the excess, and you have what's known as a marzipan potato, marzipan kartoffeln. And we have actually bought these in packages. I think we've got a package in the freezer. But if you make your own marzipan, fun little project, just roll them up in the little balls, roll them around in the cocoa, and you've got your own. And that's another tasty treat. And then one more thing, I mentioned Stalin. Well, we have a favorite one, marzipan Stalin, that we pick up at Aldi. This is a Stalin made in Germany, imported here for the holidays. We get one every year. But the point I want to make is that it has marzipan in the center. And I also have a recipe from someone to make my own. I do bake my own bread, but I find making this probably just a little bit ambitious for the holiday season, and we enjoy this. But if you like to bake things like this, that's another perfect use for marzipan. There you go. A couple of ideas on how to use marzipan once you've made it. Again, it's just a fabulous holiday treat. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and consider subscribing to our channel. And have a Merry Christmas, happy cooking. Until next time, take care.